What's up? Welcome to the first episode of Valley Vision. I'm Abby Alonso, got producer Joe Mitchell behind the camera running all the boards, doing all the magic while I sit up here and talk. We're going to be talking about LSU football, baseball, basketball, softball, maybe even some swimming, and of course, we're going to dive into the Tiger Tea because I got to get my girls caught up on what's going on off the field as well. We are just about, 3 weeks from football season? And the AP poll did drop this morning at 11. LSU came in at number 5. FSU came in at 9, I think it was, Joe? 9?
9.
Yeah. So that means the season opener is going to be a top 10 matchup, which, I mean, if it wasn't already kind of lined up to be a good game, that's just even more reason to pay attention to it, to kind of mark it on your calendar and be ready to go. Our team, LSU I'm talking about here because this is an LSU show. Are they underrated? Are they overrated coming in at 5 on this AP poll? I think you can make arguments for both, right? You've got quarterback Jaden Daniels, who is in the Heisman conversation. It's his second year. He's going to be more comfortable in the system. He's got good ground game. I mean, I think you're going to see him kind of explode this year. And he's second favorite in the Heisman conversation right now, plus 1,000 odds?
Yep.
Yeah. Behind Caleb Williams, of course. He's one, you got Caleb Williams at USC. But between your quarterback, you've got Kyron Lacey, Brian Thomas Jr., Malik Neighbors, who are going to shine in the wide receiver position. You've got a deep and versatile O-line with some good experience. Harold Perkins Jr., another guy who's been thrown into that Heisman conversation, arguably one of the best, if not the best, linebacker in the country. Mason Smith is healthy. Remember, he went down just 8 plays into that FSU game in week 1 last year. We lost him for the whole season to that ACL injury. He's back. He looks good in camp. But there are a lot of question marks around this secondary, okay? And when I say question marks, I don't mean question marks on, are they good? Are we going to be good? I mean, you have a lot of talent that you're not familiar with because a lot of these guys are transfers or freshmen, and you don't really have an anchor guy, or you're looking to see who is going to be the guy to step up, who is going to be that Derek Stingley Jr. And I know you know a little bit more about the secondary right now, so I'm gonna let you have your time to shine here, Joe. Why don't you give us some breakdown of that?
Yeah. Whenever you say questions in the secondary, I don't think we're talking about questions of talent, right? Like I think you got guys back there, but like you said, you just don't know who that Derek Stingley or who that Grant Delpit, Mo Claiborne, Tyrann Mathieu. You don't know who that's going to be in this backfield. You get your 2 safeties back, which is big. Obviously, you lose Jay Ward to the draft, but Major Burns had meaningful playtime last year. At the corner is where it gets questionable, but Javian Toviano, you get Denver Harris. He's had some trouble early in camp, but not on the field, not in his talent. I think the question there is just, what's the cohesion going to be? Are these guys going to be able to play together? And that's really the concern. Yeah,
what's it going to look like? I know Brian Kelly kind of addressed the secondary in his pressers this past week because in camp, you had one-on-ones kind of, and the wide receivers were just making the secondary look rough. But his response to those questions that these reporters were asking about the secondary, valid questions when you're looking at these receivers just run up on your DBs. Is this going to be a problem in the season kind of thing? And I think Brian Kelly's answer was, these drills are geared for the offense, right?
Yeah.
These are for your receivers, for your quarterback to kind of get a feel, build the chemistry, know their routes, go through that kind of stuff. Your DBs, his response was, this is more of a technique thing and trying to fine tune that kind of stuff. He's got a point. It is very offensively geared, but it does raise questions. But I like the way you said, I don't think it's a question of talent. I think it's, what is it going to look like? Because that's really the only area on this team where you're just not familiar with.
Yeah.
But going back to the AP poll, 5 feels like a good spot because ahead of you have Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, and Bama.
Yeah.
I don't think you can argue that LSU belongs ahead of any of those, right?
I think there's a fan argument that maybe LSU could be ahead of Alabama.
Okay.
I wouldn't make that argument. But no, I think essentially what the Associated Press is saying is that, if the season were to end right now, obviously before it starts, but if the season were to end today, LSU would be the best team to not make the playoffs, which I think is a huge honor.
Yeah, completely. In some recruiting news, they did just lock in Caden Durham, which was a huge grab. He committed last week. That's a 4-star running back. And if you look at, this is for the 2024 class. So again, not looking at this season, but for the future of this LSU team, that's a big grab considering the depth at running back, because a lot of your guys, I mean, the depth chart right now looks like you've got Noah Cain, Josh Williams. Noah Cain's a redshirted senior. Josh Williams, a graduate. Logan Diggs, a junior. John Emery, redshirted senior. Even Armani Goodwin is a junior. So you've got a lot of upperclassmen here who not all of them are going to leave probably, but you're still going to lose some bodies. You're going to lose some depth. So grabbing a guy like Caden Durham, who is a 4-star standout running back, was a big grab. We did miss out on his little buddy, Colin Simmons, who...
His big buddy.
His big buddy. I don't know why I said little. That man is big. He committed to Texas. But I will say this. Nothing is official until you sign that letter of intent. So with Caden Durham coming here and DeCorian Moore, wide receiver for 2025, also committing to LSU, which is another great grab. He's 247 has him ranked the 5th best recruit in the 2025 class nationally.
Yeah.
2nd wide receiver nationally and 1st wide receiver in Texas. So
first overall player in Texas.
You're right. 1st overall player in Texas. And he'd actually be the first 5-star receiver since Terrence Marshall Jr.
Yeah.
Which is another great grab. So you've got those two guys. Moore did come visit with Durham and Simmons. So maybe you see him switch up.
Yeah. I don't think that Simmons, I don't think that deal's over yet.
No, again, this is just for the future. We are a little bit more locked into this season because it is right around the corner, but you got to keep up with what's going on. Brian Kelly doing his job, trying to make sure that we have the best guys on the team to hopefully chase another national championship sometime in the future. Remember, he's got that pressure on him. 2nd year, Kim Mulkey did it. Jay Johnson did it. All eyes are on Brian Kelly. Can he get it done this year? I'm going to be honest. I think he even addressed it. In the timeline, he says, that's not where they're at in the timeline. A national championship is not where they're at on that spectrum.
To be fair, though, I think that's just coach speak.
No, I made this argument weeks ago that I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
I'd like to say he's wrong. I think that kind of relieved the pressure off of him of hey, I'm going to let y'all know now.
Yeah.
We're not where we should be to win a national championship. But it relieves the pressure of if they don't win, then hey, I told y'all months ago before the season started, we weren't where we needed to be to win a title.
Yeah.
If he does, then great. I mean, the LSU magic just continues, and then you're going to be looking at Matt McMahon to step up in his 2nd year.
Yeah.
But speaking of Matt McMahon, we'll switch over to basketball because we do talk more than just LSU football here. They just got back from the Bahamas. It was an exhibition kind of thing. They went 3-0. So they swept. They beat the Puerto Rican national team, which is actually a really good game in a close one. And then they just breezed past the 2 Bahamas club teams. I think they had a combined, 100 points?
Yeah, they beat the 2nd and 3rd team they played by a combined 100 points.
Yeah.
61 and 49, yeah. 39.
Guard Jordan Wright had 27 points in 24 minutes, which if you do the math there, I think it was 1.25, bad at math, somewhere around there. It was really good, lots of points in little time, so good for him. They do look good. It is an exhibition tournament. You're still far out the season, but I think it's good to have these guys still kind of going at real live action rather than just the scrimmages and the practicing and the drills and stuff. So good to see that. Just a little update for y'all on basketball. It is kind of a downtime between sports. I think everybody's eyes are on football, but I told y'all we got some Tiger tea for you. So if you were just here for the sports, now is the time to grab your girlfriend, your mom, your sister, your best friend, your daughter, whoever would be into this, because we are going to talk about Paul Skenes and Livvy Dunne. Rumor has it that the two are dating. Now, you hear all kinds of rumors coming out about who Olivia Dunne is dating because she is just the prize child of LSU and everyone wants to know what she's doing all the time. I think she's been linked to freaking Joe Burrow at one time. She's been linked to
Morgan Wallen.
Yeah, forgot about that one. Morgan Wallen. She's been linked to just about every big name guy celebrity out there. But this one might have a little bit more weight to it because she was in Omaha, which she's an LSU athlete. There were a lot of LSU celebrities in Omaha, okay? But if you go a step further, Paul Skenes was drafted by the Pirates. She has posted on Snapchat, I think it was Snapchat, some pictures of her in some Pirates gear. I know in the background there was a glove, and you know how people on the internet just love to scrutinize every picture and look at every detail. Zoomed in on the glove. The stitching was the same as the gloves at LSU, so put 2 and 2 together, it looked like Paul Skenes' glove. And then she was at one of his games. Granted, I think her grandparents live very close to where they were playing.
In Florida.
Yeah, but if you start adding up the evidence, it looks like there's some stuff going on. I know there was some talk about them going to dinner in, where was it? Maybe the Supper Club here in Baton Rouge. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what you can believe and what you can't believe. Again, there's been so much around Livvy Dunne and Paul Skenes. But I will say this. If this is the truth, what a freaking power couple. Yeah. I don't think it can get better than that. Olivia Dunne, Paul Skenes. I'm here for it. I ship it. Thoughts? And look, let's get a guy's perspective on this one.
I think it's very funny and fitting how all of the pictures that we're pulling all this from is from Olivia Dunne, because Paul Skenes hadn't said a damn thing.
Yeah. But he's also not the type to like post his entire life. Yeah. Remember, her job, aside from being a gymnast and a student and everything else, is to post her life on social media. So you get a lot more insight from Olivia Dunne than you do Paul Skenes. He's very off the radar kind of guy. Yeah. So it makes sense for him not to say anything, but also.
And look, I gotta give her props one way or another. Whether this is true or not, here we are talking about it because of the picture she's posting. So great marketing.
She does her job wonderfully.
Yeah.
I look up to her. Yeah, well, that is all we got for y'all today, this first edition of Valley Vision. We will be back twice more this week, so 3 times a week you can catch me and Joe here chopping it up, talking LSU sports and your Tiger team. Make sure to stick with us. We'll see y'all soon.